If you follow North American sports, you've probably heard about some of the betting controversies that's hit these leagues, like Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter, Jonte Porter, Tucupita Marcano, Pat Hoberg. There's plenty of cases of it. These are all just the cases of key figures in the sports getting caught, sports gambling violating the league's rules, which is really just the tip of the iceberg for the problem that is sports betting and how it's affecting sports and the culture that I know and love. Now, to ask you the question that I aim to answer in this video, how is sports gambling actually changing the way we view and interact with our favorite sports? What's up though? I'm Eric, or Ty, whichever one you want to call me. I make videos about stuff I like, stuff I don't like. This one, probably more the second part. I write about sports. I've grown up in sports culture, but over the last decade, we've seen an immense degradation of the culture that I love. From fan interactions, to player and ref involvement, to gambling sponsors, sports have forever been altered thanks to the degeneracy of sports gambling. And I think the easiest way to show how, gambling has affected fans and players alike is how fans treat players now. When the focus used to be on cheering for your favorite team, the team that represents your hometown or a part of your family that you love, now people draw from gambling to root for teams. It's much less about an escape of, the frustrations of day-to-day life, and now more just how much money can I make on my parlay. This isn't just frustrating to see from my perspective as, a fan and a writer, but more from the perspective of an athlete. Now, players don't have to just worry about letting down their teammates, their coaches, their organization, their fans. Now they have to worry about gambling addicts who will bombard them with death threats if they drop a fucking football. Paul Sewell, pitcher for the Diamondbacks, he talked to USA Today about this, phenomenon a bit. He said, "You hear it all, man. You blow a save, you don't come through, you get it all. Expletive, you suck. You suck. You cost me all of this money. Expletive you. Expletive your family. I'm going to kill you and then kill your family." What? Like, from a gambler? Like, why does it have to be this way? It doesn't have to be this way. He went on to say, "It gets ugly really quickly. It's scary and it's sad. It used to be fans who were upset you blew the game for the team, but now it's gambling. These people don't really care about the Diamondbacks. They just care about their bets. And we're talking about money they don't have that they are losing. So, it's a very scary spot." Another player for the Diamondbacks, Logan Allen, he recalled a time that he was followed home after a game. He said, "I had a really bad game. This guy follows me home, starts cussing at me, telling me I cost him all of this money. It's scary." Yeah. Duh, it's scary. Professional athletes, they have it easy, obviously. I mean, playing a sport and making a bajillion dollars, it's easier than what a lot of people have to go through. But when you're worrying about, your life and your family's safety after one bad performance, certainly takes away from the ease aspect. Certainly does. Alexander Madison, a not that good running back, after a poor performance, apparently got, a bajillion death threats and, slurs and shit, which can be expected virtually any time a notable player has a bad performance. Yeah, that shit's gonna happen. Not that it's good. It's abhorrent. It's ridiculous. As Madison said, "Under my helmet, I'm a human, a father, a son. This is sick. Yeah, batshit insane. If you're gambling enough money to force you to, go on racial tirades or anything of the sorts, personally attacking someone, rethink how you are investing your money. Detroit Lions quarterback and Super Bowl loser Jared Goff had a quote I liked about how fans interact with the players now. He said, "When you used to lose, you would hear about it because of a fan's loyalty to the team. They want to win. Now you hear about it because they're losing money because of you." Which, exactly. The motivation behind fans has forever changed, and it's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating to see. At every sporting event I've been to over the past few years, few football games, few basketball games, there's, without a doubt, somebody very close to me, either neighboring seat or like in front of me, very close, just talking about the impact on their fantasy team or their parlay. I mean, I was at a Cowboys game a couple years ago. There was a kid, probably 10 to 13, talking about how Dak was selling his first week of fantasy. And he was like getting worked up about it. Of course, I end up asking, yeah, it was a buy-in league, which, his dad bought him into it and whatnot. But how ridiculous. Like, a child, a straight up child. When I was a kid, I just wanted to see Aaron Rodgers fucking throw touchdowns. If I wasn't worried about my pockets, at the same time I was worried about Aaron Rodgers winning us another Super Bowl, I would have spontaneously combusted. But I seriously doubt I needed to give this explanation to paint this picture for you. Go into any notable player's Instagram or Twitter after a bad performance. It's gonna be nothing but KYS, you sold my parlay, or you're horrible, how do you suck so bad at your job? It's annoying and sad. I mean, sports betting has gotten so large that players and refs are consistently getting caught up in the scandals. From old stories like Pete Rose and Tom Donahue, I mean, this has been around for a while, which, yeah, as is the case for most, like, entertainment and things like that, but modern day, we are seeing it way more frequently. Just over the past few years, Jamison Williams and a couple other Lions players were, suspended for gambling on games. Calvin Ridley was suspended for a year. So on and so on. I doubt we'll ever get a world that feels unaffected by gambling when involved with players and refs. And the only people to thank is the money-hungry executives. These leagues are directly sponsored by gambling products. And it's from selling out. I mean, it's straight up selling out. I believe it was 3 years ago. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, 3 years ago, August 30th, 2021, NFL reached agreements with FoxBet, BetMGM, PointsBet, and WinBet. So, things like Caesars, sportsbooks, DraftKings, FanDuel, the big ones that you've heard of, the NFL sold out and started marketing it to kids and to everyone, making it seem like a fun, risk-free activity with, Jamie Foxx commercials and whatnot. And this culminates into $10.92 billion in revenue through sports gambling avenues. A shit ton of money profiting off of people who don't have it. I'm sure, over half of that is, but... And to think that, like, in order to start sports betting, you need to be, like, naive or stupid. No, I don't think so at all. You just have to think you know about the sport you're watching and see a good ad. It's really all it is. Calvin Ridley, newly signed to the Tennessee Titans. Notable wide receiver, couple 1,000-yard seasons, whatnot. Used to play with Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, all of them. Couple-time college football national champion. He had to take a year break off football when he was caught gambling on sports. And in a letter to the game, he talked about kind of how that situation happened. He was taking a hiatus due to injury, foot injury, and he said this: "I was looking for anything to take my mind off things and make the day go by faster. One day, I saw a TV commercial for a betting app, and for whatever reason, I downloaded it on my phone. I deposited like $1,500 total, literally just for something to do. I was going to bet like $200 on some NBA games that night, and then I added a bunch more games to the parlay. I put the Falcons in on it. I was just doing it to root on my boys, basically. I didn't have any inside information. I wasn't talking to anybody on the team at the time. I was totally off the grid. Whenever people ask, what were you thinking? The only answer I could give is, I wasn't. When you're depressed, you're not thinking about anything in the future. You're just trying to get through the day." Ridley, seemingly pretty inconsequential member of, the gambling on your sport club. It doesn't appear as though he was, had any malicious intent, like, fixing bets or anything of the sorts. But that just shows you, even dudes who aren't doing anything wrong fall into this shit. Like, it's not just, it's not always on purpose. It's not always someone doing some bad shit. That's how invasive this culture has gotten, even for the players. Since sports have began, promoting sports betting more, I think it's very clearly given us an uptick in scandals, refs, and players, getting involved in sports betting, getting banned left and right. And these sports can blame themselves for that. But I think even more problematic than the now is what it's going to do for the future of sports. For the youth, kids are starting to gamble sooner. That's going to lead to more problems with gambling addiction. And kids who are playing sports, they're going to be thinking about their statistics a little differently, which I think American kids have always had that issue the biggest, caring more about stats than the team. And that's why we've seen, the last however many NBA MVPs be Europeans. I think these suits behind these sports have the responsibility to cut this shit out. Gambling ads need to more accurately portray the risk associated to sports gambling. I think parents need to be better about not involving their kids in sports gambling. I think players are perpetrators, but more often so victims of sports gambling. That's a real issue. Player safety is a real issue thanks to sports gambling. I hope to see the dissolving of sports gambling culture in sports, because at this rate, it's not gonna look pretty. I hope it gets figured out. By the way, I sports bet here and there. I play fantasy football, I make stupid parlays, but I would do away with it in a second. I don't have an issue with it, thank goodness. More videos always coming down the pipeline. I would add the Instagram if this cat's fucking puking right now. You done? Guess I gotta clean this up. Fuck! Yeah. Comment, subscribe, follow the Instagram, Eric Ty Listen. Links to my sports writing, my blog, Instagram, Spotify, all that in the description. I gotta clean up this cat puke. Bye.